It's time for us to look at your character and what your character is doing in the days leading up to the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Does your character have a name?
Yes, his name is Corvin.
Corbin? Also, please join the Roll20.
I think I'm in.
Ah, now you are, yeah. So, Cor... V-E-N or V-I-N? Completely different. Corfen. Okay. Corfen the gnome. How does this stop? Okay. Alright. So, Corfen. Then I will give you your character sheet the right name as well. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, well, what is this game doing here? When you click on your token that you have for now, in the top left you should have an initiative button. Do you see the button?
An initiative button?
It's named initiative and then in brackets tracker.
Oh, I think that.
Yeah, okay, perfect. It's working. I wasn't sure if this shows up for you if I have put it in your character sheet, so but it should. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So, Corfen. He lives somewhere around Camp Bream. Camp Widowitz, sorry, wrong name. Can you give me a description of your character?
Yeah, Corvin is a red-haired gnome. He wears a lot of autumn colors, golden brown on his vest. He has like a tattered cape. He has soft, gentle, beady eyes and very plump cheeks from being spoiled mostly as a child. More or less it.
Okay. Why the tattered cloak?
What's up?
Why the cloak?
He has it's just like a heirloom kind of thing from his father. He also seems to have wolf furs because it's cold usually during this time of the year, I think.
Okay. We are starting in May, so probably not. But it makes sense to have them anyways. Okay. And you grew up in somewhere around Camp Widowitz, probably one of the outlying towns, or have you been in the main city all your life?
I grew up in one of the odd towns.
Okay.
That was around.
In one of the towns that are actually mining towns, or one of the other towns?
One of the mining towns.
One of the mining towns.
My family is miners by trade.
Yeah. You are a proficient miner.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your other proficiency?
I have proficiency in swimming, and can't pronounce this.
Prestidigitation.
No. Try to copy paste it.
What proficiency has such an odd name? where is it supposed to be?
It's
I see nothing anywhere.
hello.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Did you ask something? I don't know what happened.
I asked about your about your second proficiency, and then you wanted to copy paste something somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I just disconnected something.
Okay.
Appraising.
Appraising, okay. Yeah, appraising. Okay. We have spoken before about you sometimes being sent out to the mining operation that is up in the wastelands bluffs.
Mhm.
And we will start our short introduction when you are once again sent to one of those operations.
Okay.
So you are sent to this area up here, one of these peaks, probably the first one, the first bay. There are bluffs on the side, so this is like a fjord-like structure. The bluffs are very high, like 1,000 feet, something like this. And the Kingdom of Asturias has built some mining platforms to the walls of these fjords, and they are mining into the stone. They always approach by ship, start mining there. They have some scouts who are up atop of the cliffs and are looking out for eventual attacks by the insectoids. Most of the time nothing happens. Sometimes they run over there for some reason, and whenever they notice that there are humans working, they will attack, and everybody just evacuates, and after a few weeks comes back, and usually the insects are gone by then. So you are once again, is this your first trip to the bluffs, or have you been there before?
I think I've been there before.
Okay. So you've been there before. Do you prefer high numbers or low numbers?
I don't understand the question.
Do you prefer high numbers or low numbers?
For like AC and like rolling and stuff?
If I were to roll a random dice, would you prefer it to be a high number or
yeah,
a
I
low
prefer
number?
it to be high.
You prefer it to be high, okay. So far, all your trips to the bluffs have been rather regular. You have never been there while they were under attack, so you never even have seen any of the insectoids, which will make this trip even more interesting to you. Mm-hmm. You have arrived there a few days ago. You've been working in the mines. You're like overseer, more or less, of some part of the mining operation, and it's like your fourth day. You usually stay for like 2 weeks or something, overseeing some things, helping direct the minings, since you are a proficient miner, so you come there for oversight and giving some instruction. This vein looks like it's moving this direction, so we want to try to mine in this way. Also, you are a gnome, so you are proficient underground. You can better than most other races, except for dwarves, tell whether or not your distance to the ground, and also if you're mining downwards or upwards. So having a gnome or a dwarf in the mines is always a good idea, because they're very smart when it comes to these things. So a few days have passed since you have arrived there, and it's some time afternoon as the foreman of your mining group approaches you and says, hey, boss, one of the men, he found something weird, some sort of metal. Do you have time to come look at it?
Yeah, I have time to come look at it. What's in the metal?
I have to show you. It's really, I've never seen something like this. None of us has. It's very strange. Just follow me, and he leads you somewhere deeper into the mines. You stop me if you want to ask anything about the mine, or like how you're moving through the mine. Generally, you probably know very well where you're going. So
yeah, I believe I don't need light, just because
you do not need light. Yes.
So since I've been here for some time, I just have like an idea of like how deep we are and what direction we're usually going from the exit.
Yeah.
Or the exit of the mine. Okay.
Yeah. So you're somewhat 600 feet beneath the surface. The slope is going slightly upward, which is normal because you are starting from a relatively low point compared to the surface, so most of the time you're drilling upwards. A lot of the times you're drilling upwards. So. And you arrive somewhere, and the foreman stops and points at a how do I describe this? A protrusion of metal that is sticking out from the rock. The metal, it is very obvious that it is a metal, since it's reflecting light way different than stone. And it's very dark at the same time. Looks like some sort of dark iron. And as you see the light, the other person is a human, so there's light in the mine. You see that the light has a strange, slightly greenish refraction from the metal in the wall. And he says, none of us has ever seen something like this before. Not even, we haven't even seen such a pure metal vein in here. Do you have any idea what this is?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it with like a loose sack that I have.
It's stuck in the wall. You cannot pick it up.
Oh, well, I was gonna like try to touch it and be like, not with my hands directly, but like I've never seen anything like this. Have you guys tried to pick it out before, or is it too hard to break?
The foreman looks around and asks, "Has any one of you touched this?" And like, one of the guys shows up, and the foreman shakes his head like, "So, idiots." And the person who has touched it says, "It just feels, it's a bit cold, but it just feels like some sort of iron to me. It's pure, but other than this, if it weren't for the color, I wouldn't even have said something."
I'm gonna say it's nothing to be ashamed of. Curiosity is nothing terrible. It's just precautions.
Says the gnome.
And I'm just gonna be like, yeah, we should probably get this removed and see at least how deep this is. If it's not just a shard, if it's an actual, we should start excavating around it. If it's an actual deposit of this like strange mineral, we should not dig here, just to be safe. So let's get on that.
Okay. Do you go to mining yourself, or?
Yeah, I'll help with the mining.
Yeah. Give me a strength check.
Dang.
I think mining is. Give me a mining proficiency check. Yeah.
How do I roll that?
It's just what's mining coming from. It's intelligence -3. Okay, then instead give me a strength check
Oh, okay.
because that makes no sense. You're trying to remove things around this, I assume.
Yeah, I was really hoping that it was going to be an intelligence check.
What is your strength?
Roll a d20.
A d20 plus your strength.
I don't have a bonus, so it's just my strength.
No, a d20 plus your strength.
The actual score?
Yeah, the actual strength score.
Oh.
It's just a strength check to see how quickly you can move stone around.
Okay.
It would be without the -3. The -3 is for mining, which is a int based. That was correct, but anyways, you pass. You start to hit close to the thing on the wall, trying to see if there's something behind it, and you hit against the wall, and something that does not really make too much sense to you, I assume. But for some reason, you break a piece of the stone off, and the metal shard sticking out from the wall drops to the ground, revealing that it is just one small piece of metal.
Oh. Okay.
That is now lying on the ground.
Yeah. I asked one of the workers to go and pick it up then.
He goes over there and he picks it up and holds it out to you.
Oh, I don't want to touch it.
You don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Do I have like a operations we have like a base where all of the head managers and everyone meets, or is it just me?
Most of the interesting things would probably be outside on the ships.
Okay.
There's some room where things are stored, where the metal is stored before it's moved to the ships, but everything else is on the ships because you have always to be on call in case the insectoids attack, so you can leave quickly. So all the important things are usually stored on the ship.
I think I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some sort of.
You probably have some sort of bag or something if you want to bag it and take it with you.
I want to carry it, but I also want to find some way to examine it. I want to see if I can inspect and see if what this might be made of, if there's any common metals that just been magically altered or something.
So do you take it or do you leave it with the guy?
Oh, I'm gonna take it.
You're gonna take
I just don't want to touch it.
Put it in a bag and put it and hold it in the bag. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you interested in anything else that's going on here? Do you want to watch them for a while they keep digging to see if more of the metal pops up?
No, I do want to know the dude who touched its name, just in case something happens. I can double check and see it.
The guy is called Francis.
Okay, Francis. I'm going to say Francis should probably take medical leave. If anything, we should not let him interact because we don't know what this is. And
Francis looks at you. He gets big eyes.
It's gonna be okay, Francis. I'm sorry. It's gonna be fine.
But what are you trying to say? Is the thing is poisonous or what?
We don't know. We just in case you feel sick, we want to be there for you. We don't want to lose you, Francis.
I feel completely fine.
Do you want to keep working?
A normal piece of metal. Obviously, I want to keep working.
Okay. If you want to keep working, I'm not going to stop you. And I try to tell someone else. If anything changes, just whisper to them. Just try to find me. Let me know.
Yeah, the guy rolls his eyes. And as you as the guy rolls his eyes, you hear echoing through the mines a loud blast of a horn. You have never heard this before. Your foreman straightens up and says, "Fucking bugs again. We have to leave, boss." And turns around, waves to the guys, and starts moving outside of to the outside of the mine. And I assume you follow him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be the first one out there.
You follow him, and shortly after this, like 30 seconds later, 2 loud blasts of a horn echo through the mines, and the foreman says, "Holy fucking shit, we have to run. I hope your legs are keeping up with us." And everybody starts running.
Shit. As a gnome, I don't know if I'm fast enough.
You have movement speed 6, they have movement speed 12, so yeah, probably going to be the slow one here. Unless you want to sprint or something.
I'm definitely going to sprint.
Just
I mean, aren't they also sprinting?
They are running, they're like moving at a normal pace for them, but you would have to actually put in work to keep up with them.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to try to sprint then.
Yeah, then give me another strength check.
Do I add anything?
No, just flat plus 12. Good. You run as fast as your little gnome legs carry you. You pass them. They are not as stressed as you are, apparently. And 3 minutes later, you emerge from the mines and see that the guards are already like moving everybody onto the ships, and you sprint down to the dock, get moved onto one of the ships. The guards say, "Get under deck," and everybody who is not one of the guards is supposed to go under deck. I assume you do so.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie completely flat on the deck.
Yeah, you get to the. You can go under the deck, so into the belly of the ship.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's definitely where I go.
Yeah, so everybody runs down into the belly of the ship, sits next to whatever is there right now, some sort of, or some metal things, some iron or whatever they have mined so far. And not more than 2 minutes later, you feel as the ship starts moving and out of the bay. You hear. Give me a perception check. See how much you hear. You hear enough. You hear definitely some fight going on as the ship is moving. Not too much. Do you try to peek out, or are you?
No, I don't. The last time I've heard anything about the bug, somebody disappeared. I keep completely still, and I hope that it disappears as fast as possible.
You just lie there on the ground. You hear a bit of fighting going on outside, and then you hear a loud crash.
Oh.
The sound of wood breaking and something big splashing into the water. It's not on the ship. It's definitely not on the ship, but probably something big has fallen onto the wooden structure that is built into the wall to get to the docks and into the mines.
And I have a feeling that it's like around the ship, but not able to get to the ship, or do I feel like it was like tossed or it jumped? Is what I'm trying to say.
All you hear is the loud noise of wood breaking and something big splashing into the water. You cannot tell if this was a rock or a kraken or...
Alright, is there anyone in the ship that I know? Anyone that looks familiar?
Your whole crew is on this ship, probably. Like everybody that was with you in the mines.
I'm gonna ask one of them to go take a look at what's happening up there.
None of them are interested to do so.
That's very
There's
fair.
still a bit of sound of fighting going on, but none of them seem to be very concerned. But probably some insectoids still around the ship or on the ship, and until they are dealt with or have left, they prefer to not go on top deck.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna wait it out then, since I don't know what's happening.
Some more minutes go by, and then the hatch to the deck gets opened, and one of the guards shouts down. All the insectoids are dealt with. We are safe for now. We are leaving. We're going back to Port Bream. And the crew, it's probably not the first time they had to deal with this problem. They go up to the deck. Do you follow them?
Yeah. I'm gonna follow.
You go up to the deck. On the deck are currently getting removed some corpses of insectoids. A few of the guards are tending to their wounds. That's everything you see on the ship.
Yeah, I look over and I try to ask the guards, what was it? How big was it? Also, how did you kill it?
The guard looks at you and says, "Well, I have seen a lot of shit over here. I have not once seen one of the rhinos just jump off the cliff and completely crash. And as you look over to where the mining platforms are supposed to be, you see that a large chunk of the platforms that are built into the wall are completely broken down. This will need to be repaired for some weeks before you can get the mines operational again.
This is terrible. We have to get these operating as fast as possible.
We will. Although we will have to get the message back to the capital that suicide rhinos, I mean, they're supposed to be stupid as fuck, we know that, but just fall off the cliff? That's insane. I mean, if this thing would have hit our ship, we would have sank.
So you guys didn't even kill it, it just jumped off the cliff and basically...
It's probably drowning right now. It's probably drowning right now.
Oh, snap. Okay. I actually tried to run over to see if I could get a good look of it.
No. You see nothing. Some planks swimming in the water.
Alright, guess I have to go to the capital and let them know. Have you seen anything else strange with the insects? I know rhinos jumping is not usual. Have you seen them be more aggressive lately, or...?
Yeah, they have been a bit more aggressive over the last few months. But... yeah. If this becomes the new norm, then I guess no more mining operation over here.
Okay. I mean, we can't do anything anyway. They destroyed all of the platforms. We can't even get inside. And you said it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to fix it.
We have to go back to Port Bream. We have to get the equipment. We have to get the materials. Probably have to be imported from Lobet. Then we have to move it over here. Get people back up to scout for us. I mean, repairing these things from the ground, from the water, it's not an easy task. Yeah, it's gonna be some weeks. If we even get the white flag to go back. I might be on hold for a while now.
Dang it. Thank you. And I'm gonna try to. I have like a. Is there like a company barracks here, or I have my own personal shed that I sleep in?
You have a room under deck, yeah, that is reserved for mining professionals. You're not sleeping with the rest of the crew, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna just try to quickly inspect the stone again and see if there's anything that might have changed or anything. I guess. Yeah.
Is there anything specific you want to do, or are you just looking at it?
First, I'm gonna look at it, and if I don't see anything, I guess I'll cast detect magic.
You once again look at it. It still seems to be basically pure metal. Weight-wise, it's like 1 pound. It feels like it. You would guess it has about the same density as pure iron. So yeah, it has this. It's very dark. Even out here, it's very dark, and the light. Do you have light in your room? Or are you just going with infravision?
Oh yeah, I usually keep light in my room just to make it easier for everyone else who might want to contact me when they come.
So you have like a few candles lit in your room, and the flickering of the light flickers off of this piece of metal with this slightly strange green color.
Okay, I guess I'll detect magic on.
You cast Detect Magic. We can just assume that you have Detect Magic learned for today. And it has a very, very faint magical aura.
Ooh.
It's detectable, but it's not a strong aura.
So it's not like enchanted, it's just like slightly magical in essence. Like I would.
I think you have never seen anything like this before. You have detected magical items before, and even the weakest of them had a more direct aura than this has.
Okay. What I'm thinking is, or what Corvin's thinking is, maybe it's been in contact with something that's been magical, but it's not magical itself. Regardless, it's still good to know.
Yeah. Also, you have never heard anything about something like this.
Yeah, I assume.
Let me think. You probably have learned about mithril, which supposedly has a similar, like, you heard that mithril is like this innate magical metal, and it, like, you can read it as magical if you want to. So yeah, maybe it's something like this. Maybe it has just some magically enhanced properties, or maybe it's something completely different. Who knows?
So it might be magically enhanced, but it's not magic. Similar to mithril.
Similar to mithril. Like, mithril is, for its density, way too strong. So with mithril, there's like this obvious component that makes it unnatural. Let's put it like this. And so if you would have, like, the density of mithril is extremely low compared to its strength as a material. With this material, the density seems to be on par to normal iron. So who knows? It's really hard for you to put a finger on something that sticks out.
Alright.
Do you keep this to yourself, or do you like...
I'm gonna write it in a journal. Well, actually, I don't have a journal. Fuck. Is there a journal on the ship that I can steal?
There's some... You can have a journal on the ship. That's not a problem.
I'm gonna write in my journal, but I'm not gonna actually tell anyone unless we go to town. To the capital. Then I might tell them about this. But I'm not gonna tell any of the people that are part of the crew.
Write down 1 pound of whatever you want to call it. Strange metal.
Okay. Yeah, I wrote green rock, so say it's metal.
Yeah, green shard. greenly magical shardy thing. Okay, so you are on this ship for, let's see, how long does this take you? Quite a while. I think it takes you like, well, I have this written somewhere. How long is this supposed to be? Where is it? Oh, the wrong sheet is here. I have too many random papers flying around right now. Not this one, not this one. Suppose is this? No. What? Okay, it takes you 4 days.
Oh!
To get to Port Bree.
Okay.
Right. 400 miles is... 5 days. 3 days.
Okay.
You are heading straight to Port Bree, and you are not like loading off at some of the... there's like some small towns along the coast, and you could potentially unload in one of the smaller towns, like get a dinghy to get off to one of the smaller towns and then take a ship up the river to get to the capital. But your ship is going directly to Port Bree. You arrive at Port Bree and get no, you don't get as you arrive there, obviously you're not supposed to be here right now, so somebody gets called from the mining guild to they get informed that the ship is back way too early, and as you arrive in the harbor, there's already some officials from the mining and mason guild who is very anxious about what happened and who really wants to talk with the commander and the captain of the ship. And so as you arrive, there's a small group of official people who are wanting to talk with officials of the ship, which, if you want to, includes you.
Okay.
If you don't want to, all that happened was that the ship has the mining station has been attacked, and you can slip off to whatever you want to do.
I think I'm gonna try to interact with the guild leader, just try to make a name for myself real quick, see if I can get any kind of reputation.
So in Port Bree, this would be leader of the local outpost of the guild. So the Port Bream branch of the Mining and Stonemason Guild. He is not here personally. One of his counselors is here. You want to talk with them?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna walk up to them. I'm first gonna try to figure out if I've seen them before. Maybe after.
You have probably seen him before. Let's give him a name. His name is Raphael.
Okay. Definitely spelled that wrong, but okay.
It's Raphael.
Oh, I did it. And he's an important guild member.
So basically, there's the local leader of the Mining and Mason Guild, and every local leader of a guild has his own staff of advisors, who are usually called counselors.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one of the counselors. Counselors written with a U, huh? He talks to the captain of the ship and the leader of the guard that was sent with you. This is also the guard of the Mining and Mason Guild, not the guard of the military and security. So this is not the army branch. Basically, this is the guild's own mercenary service or security force. He talks with them, and they inform him about the fact that they have been attacked once again, and for some reason unprecedented, one of the rhinos ran off the cliff and hit the mining platforms, ruined them. And yeah, basically they talk about what happened, and then he goes over to the captain and talks with the captain about has there been people lost? Did they get everyone? This has been solved between the ships already, so they know that they, apart from one of the scouts, everybody is accounted for, which means probably one of the scouts got stuck on top of the cliff and didn't make it down, or heroically tried to save the people who left and gave his life to protect the lives of the others. Who knows what happened? There will be a very heartwarming story written about him, probably. Everybody's accounted for except for this one scout, and they have brought back the iron that they have picked up from the times in between the ships and what they have mined so far. So yeah, they go over this, and you can be next to them, and if you want to talk, this is now your time.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in and be like, I'm really sorry to hear about the scout. My name is Corbin. I show them my little guild insignia, if I have one.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be like, yeah, if you don't mind, while you guys are still here, I discovered an odd-looking metal shard at the site. It was lost in the. Also, if you don't know, there was all of the mining operations down, but it was lost during the damage between the suicidal rhino. I was wondering if you guys had ever seen anything like it before, or heard rumors about the strange green metal.
You are straight up lying to the guy.
I'm not lying. I'm just saying it was lost in the thing, which is true. It was lost. I just happened to have it in my back pocket.
Yeah. Give me a charisma check.
God. All right.
Just don't fail it.
Oh, I did that wrong.
Ooh. Well, to one observant onlooker, it would be somewhat doubtfully that you're telling the truth. Lucky for you, even though this guy is a very observant person usually, he is currently very distracted by the fact that he will have to deal with all this shit now and doesn't catch on to your lie and says, no, I don't think so. Can you describe this a bit more in detail?
I turned to him and I said, yeah, it's like it's about the size and density of iron. These are mining people. They know what they're talking about. I described to him like its qualities, its shape, the fact that it has this like weird shimmer in the light, and I believe it to be somewhat magical in nature. I can't confirm it, but it's similar to mithril in essence. Like straight back to him, try to really get across the fact that it's nothing I've ever seen before, and I don't know its properties, and it could be related to the bug, so we have to tread carefully.
The guy looks at you somewhat. And how much of this did you find?
It was the miners only found like a small rock before the attack happened, so I don't even.
Excuse me. Thank you for this information, but right now we have our complete mining operation ruined, and I don't really care about some funny rock you found. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
And he turns around and goes onto the ship.
I look at them and I'm like, all right, gotta get some information. So I guess, is there like a place, a location for the guild, somewhere I could like at least research maybe a little bit on this rock, or ask.
You could definitely go to the guild hall in town. They probably have a library there. Yeah.
Okay.
This would be like your best guess to get information about anything related to metal and rocks and things.
Yeah, definitely gonna just try to run over there then and get information on the rock.
This would also probably be the place where you sleep when you are in town and on official business, which you technically still are.
Until they decide to cancel the operation.
Yeah, until you probably get the order to go back to your original station, which was somewhere around Camp Widowitz. You are... well, you went to the mage school there. Are you finished with school, or are you still technically...
No, I'm still in school. I think Corvin's probably close to graduating. He has like another... I don't know how wizard school works, but if it's like in years, he has another like year, maybe 2 to go. But he's done most of his coursework.
Okay. So this was probably like your last mining trip before getting into your final study block.
Yeah, so it's like I was doing it more as a favor because my family is really into setting a name for themselves with mining. And I was like, it wouldn't hurt to make some extra cash. And then insects appeared out of nowhere, and I was just like,
yeah,
I'll just do this one for everyone at home, and then I'll figure out what I could do as a wizard, because that sounds safer.
How does Corvin feel? This is the first time he has been under attack.
No, this is not the first time. Corvin is probably he's not anxious about it. He's just uneasy about the idea of seeing large insects. I think he has some sort of insect fear, maybe like arachnophobia, just in general. So the idea of him encountering a giant insect drives him crazy, but it's not so much attack that's the problem. It's just the fact
Yeah.
that they're
You're afraid of insects. Like, that's the reason why you didn't look. I mean, you never have seen any of them on any of the insectoids before, right?
no.
The
I've only heard
closest,
stories about them.
yeah. So you have the closest you ever been to one of them is on the ship when they were removing the bodies of the. Have you looked at them?
I tried to take a look just out of like morbid curiosity, but they didn't show them, so it was fine.
No. So yeah, you probably saw like some chitinous plating, shimmering, and too many legs or arms or whatever, and some wings as well.
Yeah, and I just like freaked out.
Yeah.
And
Then
lost my marbles
looked
and
away and they threw them off the board, off the ship. And, yeah.
Yeah.
So you are in the guild hall in Port Bream, looking for the library. There is a library. It's not compared to the library in the main guild hall in Port Widowitz, this is a small library, but still something. And you go to work, I guess. What are you specifically looking for in the library?
I'm gonna be looking for any books that describe oddities or anything that's strange about minerals and mines, things that might be found there. And I'm also going to try to see if there's any records of our past expeditions in the area where the insects are, and see if anyone's seen something similar to it before. It's probably take the better part of my day.
Probably have, like, how old are you?
I don't know how old gnomes are, but I'm definitely like
Gnomes
not a child.
Get a bit older than. Let's look. Your player's handbook gnome, right? So gnomes get up to 350 years. So age. Gnome starting age is 60 plus 3d12. If you want to take the random starting age.
Three, 6. I think that will work. Okay, so I'm 83 years old.
Yeah, you're 83 years old. So you have probably. Yeah, you have lived through the whole time that this mining operation is going. The mining operation is not has not been going for that long, only a few years. And you've been old enough to be. You could technically have been on the first expedition. You weren't, but so you have some sort of a concrete idea what has been going on there, and since nobody knew what this thing was that you found, you are safe to assume that nobody else before has found it. Or if they have, they did the same thing as you and kept it secret.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have permissions to try to find if there's any secrets, so I'm just gonna
keep in mind though, keep one thing in mind. Most of the miners are not wizards.
Oh, that's true.
So you would have like a special eye for magical things that most other peoples do not have. So maybe it just got thrown in the trash because, who knows.
They just didn't realize it was magical. That's very true.
Or they thought, whoa, look at this. We thought a brick of basically pure iron. This is perfect. And they threw it in the meltery with everything else.
Fools. Yeah, Corbin's going to curse under his breath the fact that he's too intelligent for this. And Honestly, the fact that I've been on the ship for 3 days, just contemplating giant insects crashing into my boat and drowning me, I think I'm just gonna head to a pub and try to get a drink.
Okay. You head to a pub. Do you want a fancy one or a
Definitely not. I am not that rich.
not that rich? Okay, you don't want to spend one gold piece for one evening.
uh,
Or do you want? You've been on this ship for 3 days there, 3 days back, and then like 5 days in the mines. So that's
yeah,
11.
we're gonna spend that one gold piece.
Okay, you're gonna spend it one gold piece. Okay, so you go to the local branch of the honey pot.
9. Okay.
The honey
I go
pot
to the-
is a really fancy establishment. There's a bouncer outside who looks at you and seeing, like, not so much seeing but smelling you, gives you a raised eyebrow, which you can quickly interpret that he is questioning your ability to pay.
I flash him the gold piece, not to give it to him, just like flash him. Like I have the coin. I'm from out of here. I've really never seen this town's luxury. I've heard good things about the honeypot. I just want to spend some time here before I go back to my duties.
He nods, points at your badge that is clearly visible on your robe, and says, "Mining business not that great these days, huh?" And
Yeah, the mining business is pretty bad. It's
he opens the door,
Oh.
lets you in. He's probably not really interested in talking with you, just made a slight remark. You can stay and talk with him if you want to.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. He lets you in. You get picked up from one of the servants inside, who quickly offers you to take the bath. The honeypot has also is a bathhouse, and you can take a nice bath and get a bathrobe and chill in the lounge in a bathrobe if you want to, or you can put your robes back on.
I'm gonna take a bath for sure.
Yeah, this was a question that was asked because people are polite and ask questions, but yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I'm gonna go see if there's any like bards around, anyone who's playing music. Instead of feeling generous.
No, it's a silent evening. There's not a lot going on. Just a few people hanging out. It's just a random weekday, so why would there be much going on? You can take your bath, you can grab a drink and sit on a couch and chill for a while. It's nice and warm. The ground is not moving. Big bonus. And unless you want to do anything else, you can stay here for the night. This is a pay 1 gold, get a nice evening and a breakfast.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look around real quick and just see if there is anyone who seems to be more magically inclined, or just like weird, weary travelers who might want to tell stories, or just see what the locals are into around here, or any oddballs that seem really out there.
Unfortunately, there's really not that much interesting things going on. There's like one old guy who seems to be rich, considering that he's in fancy clothes, not a bathrobe. So he came in here with fancy clothes on, wearing a lot of jewelry. The servant staff, the barkeeper, a few other people, a group of 3 people who are here together, probably talking with each other.
Okay.
It's just a slow night in the honeypot.
All right. I guess I'll go to sleep then.
You go to sleep? Alright. Are you... I assume you have your block of greenish iron shardy metal with you?
Yeah, I have it in like a sack, and it's in my like. It's very far away from me. I don't want to touch it.
You don't want to touch it, huh? You really don't want to touch it?
I mean, I want to.
You're very curious, you know?
I want to make sure I have as many precautions beforehand, like a safe space. I don't know what happened to Francis before I do anything. I would just want to make sure it's nice and safe.
I mean, Francis was with you on the ship and he's still alive.
Oh, yeah, then I'll probably look at it and touch it.
Yeah. You go into your room. The rooms are nice. There's a usually large enough bed for you. It's a giant bed. A table. 2 stools next to the table. You can sit there, put the bag with the shard on the table. Everything is very clean. And yeah, there you can do with it what you want to do.
Okay.
You could have prepared spells on the ship if you wanted to.
Yeah. The only thing I would find useful that I have is detect magic.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna like try to inspect it the best I can. See if there's. I guess the first thing I'll do is try to see if I can tamper with it. See if it reacts to like heat. Maybe I'll put it like over like a candle and see if that does anything. Just like mess with it a little bit.
Let me know when or if you actually have contact with the metal itself.
Oh yeah, I touch it.
You touch it? Okay. As you touch it, you feel like it's hard to describe, but somehow you feel like this. It feels very cold, which is normal. As you are a proficient miner, you understand that most metals are very good at conducting heat, so they feel colder than other things. But other than draining the heat from your hand, you also feel like it's draining a bit of energy from your hand.
Ooh, I don't like that. Do I feel like it's draining like magical energy or like my like life?
How would you tell the difference?
I don't know. I'm assuming I just started learning how to cast spells, so maybe like
You don't have any. What?
I'll try to cast a spell at it and see if it like absorbs the magic.
So you only have detect magic memorized, right?
Detect magic and light, and I guess melt, but not really.
No, you only have one spell slot and one.
Oh, then detect magic.
Okay. You cast detect magic. Detect magic is usually cast on yourself. Are you trying to cast detect magic on the metal, or are you just casting detect magic to see magic auras?
I'm trying to cast it on the metal, see if it does something to it.
You cast detect magic on the metal, and you are 100% sure that your spell went off, and you don't see anything different.
Like, I feel like if I saw the spell went off, I would have felt like the magical aura around it.
Like, whenever you cast a spell, like you have the spell memorized, you have the arcane, basically the arcane idea of the spell very directly in your head until you cast it, at which point you expend all the energy you have put into holding all this effort up, and then it's all gone and expended into shaping the world around you. And after you have done so, after you have casted a spell, you also know that you no longer have the spell memorized. So you cast a spell onto this block of metal, and your magical energy gets used. You are 100% certain that you no longer have the spell memorized, but also you don't see any effect.
Okay. I am perplexed. I don't fully grasp what happened here. I believe that it worked as intended.
Are
I'm gonna
you
write that down in my journal.
you write this in the journal? Are you continuing to look at the stone?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I drop it, if it's like shatters or something.
As you pick the stone up after having cast detect magic on it, you notice as you pick it up that you can see its magic aura.
Is it stronger than before?
Yes.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay.
You put the stone back down?
No, I'm gonna try to. I don't have anything else. I guess I should put the stone back down. I'm gonna put the stone back down. Yeah, Corbin's gonna.
You put the stone back down. You no longer see its magic aura.
Oh, what the? Okay. I write that down in my journal too. That I can only see it when I touch it. Weird.
I mean, when you cast detect magic the first time, you were able to see it without touching it.
Mm-hmm. But I don't see any aura when I'm not touching.
Yes.
Okay.
As goes strength, like the strength of the magical auras. This aura that you saw when you touched it now, this was a faint magic aura.
What I think I'm gonna do, depending on how many days I have in town, I think I'm gonna try to keep preparing spells and trying to cast it on the metal and see if that changes its aura.
Okay. Right now you are MIA from the guild, so they probably won't be asking questions when you are off for one day, but you still have to check back in with the local chapter and then get your basically marching order to return to school or do something else.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to check in as much as I can. I'm not sure what that would necessarily look like.
So basically, the next morning, after you take breakfast, you are supposed to get back to the local office and ask them if there has been orders for you or not, more or less, something like this.
Okay.
Since you are currently a direct sent from the guild and are supposed to return. So you can pack your stuff from the honeypot, head to the guild, check in, and the local guy who is in charge of the guild hall lets you know that there has been a letter sent, and this is also addressed to you. There has been a call from the Royal Council. The call is for people to join into expeditions that are supposed to gather information about what's going on in the wasteland and behind the divide. And since you are have been there before, they think that you would be a good fit to go on one of these expeditions, and the guild would send you to short track you out of mage school, give you your diploma in advance, and send you more or less as a official guild sent to the Royal Council to go on one of the missions.
I accept.
Once again, this was one of these nice letters, but you know the tone of the letter. if the guild is saying anything about sending someone to the Royal Council. It's much less of a question than it seems to be. And yeah, so basically, as soon as you are done with your debriefing, which you can do right now, you are sent to the capital.
Yeah, let's go to the capital.
All right, so you give your debriefing, what you have done in the mine. Do you mention anything about magical green stones that you found?
Do I see Raphael then?
No.
Then I don't.
Then you don't. Awesome. So you give your small speech about how you had to run back onto the ship. Everything went flawlessly. The evacuation was very effective, and you have not seen anything else. The tunnels were in good shape. The mine was working effectively. Like basically, this is the things that you know about the mining operation. And yeah, then you are sent with the next caravan to Barrios, where you will arrive, I think, in 6 days. You are a gnome, so they put you on one of the carriages because you are fucking slow. And you move with one of the trade caravans. This is like a guarded caravan, which is supposed to be very safe, because going by the hill, the mountain for the hilly forest and the dark forest, sometimes there's a bit of goblin or orc or bandit problem around there, but they tend to attack the weaker targets. So you can make the trip to Barrios. Everything is paid for by the guild, so you don't have to worry about anything, and arrive there 6 days later to be right on time to head to the Royal Council, to the Royal Council's meeting hall to be precise, where they are currently enlisting people. You arrive there, make an entrance, and walk up to one of the clerks and see next to the clerk a group of a dwarf, an elf, which you quickly recognize to be Rufen, the Goblin Slayer. Or the few elves that roam the kingdom are usually known by name and occupation, basically, because there are so few that this is local legends every single time. You are a smart enough person that you know that local legends usually means that people believe the craziest thing about them, whereas they are usually just random shitty elves. So Rufen the Goblin Slayer, who is miraculously cleaning the plague of goblins from the land, has probably like killed 50 goblins or something in his lifetime so far, which is not too impressive, but yeah. One dwarf who apparently is not able to read is wielding a piece of paper and shouting about something. He has been instated with the power of the Royal Council to pick up people that he wants to have on his expedition. Next to them is also a human who is handed the sheet of paper and is reading to them what the dwarf has signed without being able to read it. This looks like a somewhat crazy group, but they also seem to be the perfect fit for you because it's already mixed race. There's also already a dwarf, so you wouldn't be the slowest person in the party. And this is the point where I took over role-playing your character. You volunteer for them. This,
Yeah.
I assume, fits very well into your plan to get back to the wasteland, find out more things about whatever you just found there.
Yeah. Also, having the dwarf be illiterate is going to be very helpful because I can give him stuff to read and he can lie.
It becomes painfully obvious that the elf also cannot read common.
Oh, yes.
He probably can read elfish, but he cannot read common. He's trying really hard to appear as though he can.
This is the perfect adventuring party for me to take my journal and my notes and not have to worry about people snooping.
Yes.
This is great.
The only person who probably could snoop in your journal is the human. But then again, he seems to be a sort of goody two-shoes person.
All right.
He's very young. Very helpful. Yeah, what's his age? Let's look this up. Oh, it's not in here. Blip, blip, blip. Where do I have to go to get his age? Here. He is 19. So very young. I mean, old enough to have children, but still. Compared to you, he's like a baby, yeah. Also very... Your first impression would be that he's very naive. And
Yes.
his main purpose in life seems to be to help other people. He's a mage, though, so he's a wizard.
Oh, do I notice that he's a wizard?
He says that he's a wizard, so yeah. And you will quickly pick up that he's a transmuter, because he thinks that transmutation is the primary best school of wizardry.
Cool. Transmuters are like the bottom barrel as far as Corvin's concerned.
Yeah.
It doesn't require too much to be a transmuter.
Well, there's one thing, as you progress with the group a bit, you get into a bar fight in one of the military guilds drinking holes, where the talk ends up to be a bit around the fact that at least you are not an evocationist, because evocationists are usually just dumb fireball people.
Yeah.
And as Usma, who's the name of the human, kind of loudly proclaims that at least you both are not evocationists, so you're at least not stupid, he gets challenged to a arm wrestling contest by one of the military security wizards, who is also in the bar, and loses to him. Yeah. And lucky you, the dwarf who is apparently somehow picked up by the royal council because he doesn't really know, but he has some crazy dreams about dead birds, and they gave him permission to lead his own group and pick whoever he wants. He pays for all your food and drink, and also gives you everyone a piece of gold so you can rest the night in the local honeypot. Lucky you. So after 6 days on a carriage, you once again get a nice night in the honeypot. Same treatment, you can take a bath if you want to, which you probably want, and have a nice evening sitting around. The elf in the room is the proverbial elephant in the room. He's not very versed in communicating with humans and does not really understand much of human culture yet. And also everybody thinks he's the most interesting person ever and wants to talk with him.
Shit.
Yeah, so there's a lot of weird interaction between the elf, who tries to be very charismatic, which he isn't, and humans who think he's very charismatic, which he isn't, and they slowly noticing that he isn't. Yeah. And then you go to bed, and the next morning the dwarf who slept in the barracks because he is also part of the military security guild comes to the honeypot once again to pick you up, and the other mage kind of starts to question his ability or his, like, the last evening, like, the talk goes on about him having the weird dreams, and then he kind of goes on to a tangent about him having divine powers or whatever, which to you is crazy talk. As to your belief, there is no divine powers in this world. They are stories from fairy tales. You have not heard otherwise, and he's probably just talking out of his ass, and you start to question if you have wandered into a group with two insane people and a goody two-shoes transmuter. And the transmuter calls this into question and says, okay, and he cuts himself in the thumb and says to the dwarf, heal it. Because apparently the day before the dwarf was able to heal one of the wounded soldiers in the temple. And some try and arrow goes by, and after the dwarf sitting on the ground praying for 10 minutes, he actually touches the thumb, and a very weird phenomenon appears as some sort of dark light. Like, it's emitting light, but when you look at it, it looks black. Like, it's black in the center and then light on the outside. It's very strange. You have never seen an effect like this before. And after the light vanishes, the wound is healed over, and you are completely knocked out of your shoes. This is now complete insanity. Like, before you were wondering if the people are insane, now you think that the world has gone insane.
No, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna write that down in my journal.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to draw a sketch of the black light as well.
Yeah, and as this light goes down and the wound is healed over, you notice that everybody else in the room stops talking. Like, what has just been witnessed is unheard of. Like, the people know about magic, and they know very exactly that there does not exist any sort of divine powers who are able to heal wounds and things like this. This does not exist. And yet here, this dwarf sits and has just healed a wound on the human. As everybody notices what just happened, your party quickly leaves the honeypot and thinks about what to do. There has been talk about taking a first trip instead of to the wasteland, going down south around Terriga, cleaning out some of the hobgoblin infestation around there. You know that the mining platforms have been destroyed, so getting a trip to the mining platforms would be pretty hard right now. Getting through the gate is suicide, so your best bet would be the mining platforms and going up from there if you want to go into the wasteland, or finding some other way which obviously doesn't exist, because if it would exist, the insectoids would have used it to attack. Yeah. Shit's wild.
Yeah.
What are Corfin's ideas?
Corvin still doesn't believe in gods for sure, but with all this craziness happening, sure there's some reason that come into being. I think I have to follow the dwarf now to see what the fuck is happening.
Mm-hmm. True. Do you let them know about your special item?
No, I just met these people.
Have you tried to investigate it more on the travel, or?
Yeah, I would be casting it. I'd be casting detect magic into it every single time I could.
The next morning, the next day you learn your spell in the morning, you memorize detect magic, and you touch the stone and you don't see the aura of the stone. Then you cast detect magic on it once again, and when you touch it, you see the aura again, and it's faint again. Do you keep doing this over and over again, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it. See if it grows. If it doesn't, probably
It's
just hold on.
every day the same thing. In the morning when you touch it, it does not radiate anything, and then you cast a spell on it, and it radiates. And then you can, when you touch the stone, see the aura, which is faint. Do you try anything else, or is this all you try?
That's definitely all I try. I don't want to fiddle with it too much.
Okay. Right. So. Yeah. That's about it, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything else that we should touch on right now? Are you happy with your story hook into the adventure?
No, I think that's fine. I'm just gonna probably prod the dwarf for information when he's back, and try to figure out what the fuck these spells are that he's casting. That's basically it.
Okay. What's your? You have just returned from the mining platforms and have been instantly sent off to a different mission. You probably will. Do you feel homesick? Basically, do you want to communicate with your parents?
No, I decided that it's best not to talk to them about the mining stuff if it's bad news. So I try not to keep them. I keep them in the dark if it's something bad. I only come around if it's I'm back on the expedition and there's a new crew or something like that, but nothing about the insects attacking.
Do you let them know that you will be gone for a bit longer, or do you write them a letter or something? Or
yeah, I'd probably write them a letter saying I'm traveling with an elf, just to be like, yeah, there's an elf now.
This is fancy, yeah.
Yeah, well, but that's it. I would not describe them as the party as intelligent or unintelligent or anything like that. Just say, yeah, I met an elf, which is super cool. I will see you guys the next gnomish holiday.
Okay. Do you send the letter via the normal post service, basically, or via guild channels?
Definitely guild channel.
Guild channels, okay.